It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you because that's New Orleans and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar today, we're at Wayfare on Frenchmen Street, which is a couple of blocks down from Napoleon Avenue. It used to be the Killing Fields down here, but now it's actually rather delightful. We're right across from the European Wax Center and the Gelato Joint and Bar Francis. Is unbelievable what's going on down here. And if you come into Wayfare itself, you can enjoy a 3-hour happy hour here every day from 3 to 6. An awesome brunch on the weekends. I want to say thank you before we get started to our Patreon subscribers who helped make this show possible. Thank you to everybody on Patreon. If you'd like to be a part of our Patreon family, go to patreon.com and search for It's New Orleans Happy Hour. And I want to tell you too, Andrew Duhon is not here today, but if you're interested in being a part of Andrew Duhon's record release party, which is going to be awesome, you guys might be interested in this. It's not going to be a record release party. It's going to be an event in the woods in City Park.
Sounds fun. Cool.
It's going to be called a Needle Drop. And it's going to be in City Park on April the 29th, I believe. And you can find out all about that on andrewduhon.com. You can also find out about Andrew's gig at Jazz Fest and French Quarter Fest and everything else as well. So that's everything I have to tell you. That's been Happy Hour for another week. Thanks. Hang on. Thanks for joining.
Woods?
Chris Trew is here. The fabulous comedian Chris Trew is joining us.
In the woods?
In the woods. It's called a Needle Drop, and I think they're going to play the live record out in the woods in City Park.
Is there going to be a noise violation?
I think it's going to be quiet. Actually.
Okay.
It's going to be sort of sophisticated and subdued and a sort of, interesting little evening.
I think that's a very sweet idea.
I think it's going to be pretty cool,
Yeah.
don't you guys think as well?
Sure, we should have done that.
Yeah, that's what I was just
Yeah.
saying.
Luke
right.
Carrig
I love it.
and Boyanna Trayanova are here from the band Blato Zlato.
Thanks for having us.
It's
Yeah.
good
Happy
to
to be
see
here.
you, Boyanna.
Nice
It's
pronunciation, too.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Well, I speak Bulgarian.
There
Is
you go.
Is that Bulgarian, actually?
It is
Yeah.
Bulgarian.
It is. Now, who's Bulgarian here? You're
Oh,
Bulgarian.
me. You know that.
I know, but you've been here longer than you were in Bulgaria at this point.
That is true.
How long were you in Bulgaria for? Like 2 years?
9 years.
9 years. Well, that's
9
not
years.
bad. The first 9 years.
Yeah.
And you've been here ever since, which
Yep, we escaped communism.
And what is it like now in Bulgaria?
It's a lot different. They
Is it
they
groovy?
have stores with merchandise on the shelves. That's
Right.
new. Yeah.
So you can get bread and
You
butter
can, you
and...
can get bread and you don't
all
have to
kind-
wait in line for 6 hours.
That's what it was like
amazing.
when you were growing up there?
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
distinctly.
Like, I remember waiting in bread lines with my grandpops in the middle of a snowstorm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was
For
because of
real.
the commies.
Commies, man.
And now who runs
Commie
the joint?
bastards. Corrupt non-commies, you know.
Is it a democracy or do we have to...
It's a democracy,
So
but
we
a
don't have to
corrupt one.
invade them
They're
and-
actually a member state of the European Union.
Oh,
Did
really?
you know that?
Okay. I don't know anything about Bulgaria. Do you know anything about Bulgaria? Katy Tinsley is here. Katy, do you know anything about Bulgaria?
I don't know a lot about Bulgaria, no. It sounds nice.
Do you know where
It's
it is?
beautiful.
Yeah. It's in Eastern Europe.
Oh,
It's in the former USSR, probably somewhere near Yugoslavia.
Hey,
It's right
what
next
do you
door,
think?
actually.
Yeah.
It
That's
is.
pretty good.
Okay, I'd say that's worth a round of applause.
that's
Very good.
Bonus points.
Now, you must get this question all the time, Boyanna. I'm sure most people do not know where it is, I bet you.
Most people do not know.
Right. Did you know, Lou?
Yes.
How did you know? You're not Bulgarian.
no, that's
no, but
cheating.
I've been there a bunch of times. That's an unfair advantage.
Ah, what were you doing there?
I was studying music there. I'm in a Bulgarian band. That's what I do.
Well, I know you are now.
Yeah.
And that's because you were in Bulgaria.
Yes.
See, I don't know anyone who's even been to Bulgaria. Chris, have you been to Bulgaria?
I have not, but I spent most of the past week doing WrestleMania events.
In
and
Bulgaria?
No, here in New Orleans, doing WrestleMania events. And the hands down most popular wrestler who is getting chants at every single show, big and small, was a Bulgarian wrestler whose name is Rusev.
That's my people, man.
Happy Rusev Day.
We're good at wrestling and
You're like second
weightlifting.
cousin.
Did you get to meet Rusev, Chris?
I did not. Rusev was busy celebrating Rusev Day, which was every single day for the past week.
So,
Wow.
C-Rock said that. Happy Rusev Day. Was that a joke? You're not a joke.
No, that's the chant for Rusev. People like him so much. Every day is Rusev Day.
Even when he's not fighting, just other
Wow.
fighters will be up there and they'll just get in with the Rusev chants because they want Rusev.
So Rusev was hands down the most popular wrestler this week at WrestleMania,
Is
and
he-
he's from Bulgaria. He's a Bulgarian brute.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Is he also a good wrestler?
he's an excellent wrestler.
I don't
Excellent
think they
wrestler.
would give him his own day if he was a bad wrestler.
Well,
Did you know that shit is fake?
What is?
Wrestling?
What's fake about it?
Yeah. You know, the fakeness.
What do you mean?
He might not even be
No, let's do
Bulgarian.
it. Let's do it. Do you watch TV?
No.
Do you watch theater ever?
Sometimes.
Yeah, that's
No?
not real either.
Right.
Like everything is like a production.
Yeah, so is wrestling.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's like the most badass production, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of WrestleMania, but I saw photos of the stage, and it was absolutely beautiful. It was
Yeah.
insane. The production value was amazing.
Yeah, it's like part Super Bowl, part like huge convention for people who like this very bizarre art form.
Well, it's bigger than
There's
the
some
Super Bowl,
pageantry
I hear.
involved.
Is
Yeah,
it,
it's
is
on-
it truly bigger than the Super Bowl?
Not in terms of ratings, because it's not on national television, but it drew over 200 countries were here, bought a ticket. Every state from the U.S. was here. There was, I think, $140 million of local economic impact. Every hotel room was sold out. It was just. It's Super Bowl-ish in those
Right.
terms. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I got stuck in some gnarly traffic downtown.
For
so-
something that was fake.
Yeah. Damn
That
fakies.
traffic was real.
That traffic was real, though. Yeah.
When people say it's fake, what they're getting at is that these people who look like they're being smashed to pieces aren't really being smashed to pieces.
Well, the thing is that for a long time, wrestling pretended like it was not fake. Like, so I think when, so like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, I think
Like Hulk Hogan and...
what they were trying to put out into the world was that this is real fighting. This is similar to boxing. And
Right.
sometime in the mid 90s, late 90s, it started to be like, we're not pretending like it's fake anymore. And then for the past
Hang on,
10-ish
we're not
years.
pretending like it's fake anymore. I mean, we're admitting that it is fake.
Right.
Well, then why were you so upset when they
Oh,
suggested
because
it was fake?
just because it's just the take that wrestling is fake across the board is I think is a little
You're
antiquated.
you're just saying it is, though.
Well, it's like
It's a connotation.
I mean, saying wrestling is fake is like saying a movie is fake.
well, it's like telling a small child that Santa Claus doesn't exist and it's not real.
But
Let,
that's
let
true.
them have it. Yeah,
I'm
but
not sure
let
that-
them have their joy.
so
Wait,
it's like
you mean Santa
either
Claus
it's-
isn't real?
Why?
Either it's fake or
Hopefully,
it's not
no
fake.
children are watching.
well, so saying wrestling is fake is and like just owning that take and like bear hugging that is like saying it's like watching a movie and being like that didn't really that's not real that's a set.
Right.
That's a set, or like
Right.
or watching a horror movie and someone opening the door and being like, "You're going to get killed." You know, it's a little
so
bit.
Okay, so we know that when we see like a plane crash into a mountain in a movie, that there's not really a plane crashing into a mountain. There's no people dead.
Right, but
So
what
when you
you
see
do,
a guy crashing into the floor at the Superdome, that really is real.
Well, the
isn't it?
That's true.
physicality is real. It's just the outcomes are staged. It's choreographed. It's,
Yeah.
it's like a play. And so, I mean, these athletes, this Bulgarian man is probably very strong and good
Yusef.
at what he does. Yusef.
Is that his name?
Rusev.
Rusev.
How do you spell it? R-U-S-E-F?
V.
Yeah, but in Cyrillic.
R-U-S-E-V.
V. R-U-S-E-V. What does he
That
look
sounds
like?
like a last name to me. It's probably
I think
his last name.
it is his last name. Yeah. Good
Do you know
call.
his first
Good eye.
name?
Good eye.
What's his first name?
Bulgarian.
Well, that's how he goes by Rusev. I don't know his actual first name.
Okay. What does he
Like a
look
real
like?
athlete. It goes
Yeah.
by his last
He
name.
looks like a super athlete, Grant Morris.
He does.
Yeah. He looks like the future United States champion.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But he's not an American. He's Bulgarian. Does he fight for Bulgaria? Do you fight for your country in this, or is it just?
It's not the Olympics.
It's not.
But Bulgarians love Bulgarians.
Yes,
So
that's
he
true.
probably is fighting for Bulgaria, and
He is
Bulgaria's
very-
probably fighting for him.
Yeah, and he's got the Bulgarian flag as part of his intro. I
Of
mean,
course
Okay.
he does.
it's a big. I think it's a big part of his character.
What's the
is the Bul-
Bulgarian national anthem? Is that what you're going to be your
No,
question,
I
Katie?
was going to ask what the Bulgarian flag looked like.
Oh, it's white, green, and red stripes. White on top, green in the middle,
Nice.
red on the bottom.
And does it stand
Like a
for
little
anything?
mix-up of the Italian flag.
Sort of, yes.
Good
Except
idea.
it's horizontal.
Yeah. Nice.
Lou, how long were you in Bulgaria for?
I've been there a few times. Last time I was there for maybe 2 months or so, and we're actually going back this summer together.
The two of you.
Oh, well,
Our whole band.
The
with
whole band, the whole
yeah.
Blato Zlato.
You got it.
And so Blato Zlato in Bulgarian means swamp gold.
Yes.
Is that true, or is that just
Well,
it says on your
I mean,
It's
bio?
not like wrestling. It's actually true.
Actually, it is like wrestling. Actually, that name was created before a Bulgarian speaker was in the band, that being me. So it's more like a Google Translate version of Swamp Gold.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
not
it's
how
not
you would
really
say
what you would.
Swamp Gold, because what is Swamp Gold? Is it
I don't know, but
gold from a swamp?
I thought it was
or
just
is it
amazing
a
that the
golden
word
swamp?
swamp rhymed with something in Bulgarian.
Well, that is true.
Which one?
I
That's,
mean,
that's part of why it's such a great name.
the
Which
words
one
do
is-
mean swamp and the words do mean
Gold.
gold.
So
It's more like
Zlato
the
is gold.
syntax is
Yeah,
off.
the syntax is off.
Yeah. Zlato is gold.
Zlato is good, like the Russian word for money.
You got it.
Yeah. Zlato.
Okay. So what's the other word?
Blato.
Blato.
So what is
Swamp.
that? It means swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's swamp and gold.
Yes, but that's not how
But you
you would
wouldn't
say that.
But
yeah.
you wouldn't say swamp gold in English either, because there's no such thing.
I think Swamp
That
Gold's a
you
great
know.
name.
Thank you.
I think
you.
Swamp Gold's a really good name.
I thought if you got really
I do.
drunk, you were getting blottoed, right?
That's
with
what
an
we do at our
O.
rehearsals. We like to think it's kind of like Jefferson Airplane.
Oh, that's
Like,
another
did
good one.
Jefferson
Okay.
own the airplane? Did Jefferson get airplane? Do you know? Like, the syntax is kind of off, but the
Well,
words
what
are both
about
true.
other stupid band names like Pink Floyd?
That's pretty
That's a
stupid,
good
too.
one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I'll tell you the worst band name of all time
What is it?
is the Beatles.
Yeah.
It's a
It
bad
is
pun.
pretty bad.
That's
It's a
really
pun.
bad.
It's terrible.
It's a pun. It's
But you know what? It's a
B-E-A-T.
great
Right.
band name because they're a great band.
Oh,
So,
of course.
yeah.
So, of course, I'm on board with that. The band makes the name. I love Swamp Gold. I think Swamp Gold's great.
I like swamp gold too. It doesn't have
Thank
to
you.
mean anything, does it? Because it doesn't mean there is no. Is there such a thing as gold in a swamp? No.
I mean, maybe.
What does gold
not?
mean to you, Grant?
Gold is the thing in your nose.
Yeah, what does gold
That's-
mean to you?
Sorry, I was just thinking in my head whether or not your nose ring was actually
was
made of
gonna ask.
gold, and I was
It's-
like, it probably isn't. So
Is it?
like the
Is
color
it?
gold.
It's fancy like it is, but
It is
not
really,
quite.
it's really
Not
nice.
quite. It is.
It looks
it is
good,
nice.
doesn't it?
I
I
don't-
like it too. It's not gold though.
It's not gold, Grant.
What is it?
I don't know. You have to ask the nice lady
It might
who
be
made it
plated.
in Israel.
It's Israeli.
Yeah.
You have an Israeli nose ring.
I do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How did it get over here?
The Postal Service.
You ordered it
Another bad
online?
band.
Yeah.
You ordered it online from Israel.
Yeah.
Come on.
On Etsy.
Come on, that's interesting.
Oh, I love Etsy.
That's
Etsy's
where I
great.
got my necklace, too.
Well, really, so you got this cool necklace. It's
Yeah.
like coral or something.
I mean, it's actually just little Czech beads made by a sweet lady in the Ukraine, but I got it on Etsy.
Okay.
It's a lot cheaper than a plane ticket.
I just remembered a Bulgarian woman from Etsy made part of my wedding dress
There you go.
Well,
She was
congratulations. When
lovely.
did you get married?
last year.
What time? Not the day. was
4
it?
p.m.
4 p.m. That's
On
a good
a
time.
Sunday.
On
Yeah,
a
it was
Sunday,
nice,
that's
yeah.
So,
very,
like, midnight
very
in Bulgaria.
considerate of you.
Yeah.
4 p.m. on a Sunday is cheaper than what? And Saturday?
Then Saturday and Friday nights.
Is that right? Where did
Yeah.
you get married?
At the Maroney Opera House.
Oh, that's another great idea. Who played there?
Who played?
Yeah.
Her
Like
wedding
for my
played.
wedding?
Yeah, who was
Well,
the band?
we actually did have a local band. At the time, they were called the Sierra Leone Experience, but now they're called the Sierra Green and the Soul Machine. We actually went to see them last night because it's close to our anniversary, so we went. And they're fantastic.
When's your anniversary?
Oh, you're going to send me a gift?
Yeah, I'm going to write it down.
Okay, March 26th.
March 26th.
Yes.
So, have we had that yet?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
It's,
we
it's
just,
April 11th.
It's April 11th right now. Okay, so you just had your first anniversary.
I did.
Okay, so how'd the first year go?
Great. Fine. Good.
How long had you been dating before you got married?
A year and a half.
A year and a, oh, not long.
No, we got engaged after
Whoa.
3 months, and then we stayed engaged for a long time, and then we did a really intense destination wedding where we actually moved here, planned the wedding, and now just still live here.
Jesus, you are brave. Holy hell, where did you move from?
We were living in Seattle when we met.
And you met in Seattle. Where did you meet? At
Yeah.
a Starbucks or Microsoft?
Yeah, right? At Amazon? No.
Costco?
Whole Foods?
Costco's from Seattle too. I just found that out yesterday.
Yeah.
actually. I didn't know that. You
Yeah,
met
from Kirkland, Washington. That's why the vodka's called Kirkland
Oh, really?
Vodka. Yeah.
And you actually met your husband in Whole Foods.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought you were serious.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Where did
just
you?
like in his apartment.
You met
Because
him in his.
I was friends with his roommate and just like go to his apartment.
Okay.
I
So
couldn't-
what was the situation? You were just the three of you were over there? Was it a party?
No, just a group of people hanging out. We were actually going to play Settlers of Catan.
Oh, I love
What?
that game.
It's a nice game.
What is it?
It's a really cool board game invented by a German guy. You
You trade
Hope-
things like
yeah.
sheep.
You get
Trade sheet.
resources.
Trade sheet.
Yeah.
It's a real board game, not an
Yeah.
online game.
No, it's a real board game.
You
It's
can
quite
probably play
nice.
it online.
So you have little
But
plastic
it's more
sheet.
fun with real people.
It's like Monopoly with sheep.
Kind of
It's
like
kind of more like Risk.
Yeah.
Than Monopoly.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So
But
did you
without the
actually get
warfare.
around to playing it, or were you too drunk at the time?
We didn't play that night.
Good
But we
expression. You
have,
did it.
we have played many times since.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, that's pretty exciting. So what did you why did you decide to get married after only a month and a half? Was it 6 weeks?
3 months.
12 weeks. Oh, that's not so bad. It's a
Yeah,
quarter.
we just felt, like it was a good idea. And then we kind of
Well, so many things
felt
do
like
seem
moving
like
to
a
New
good idea.
Orleans seemed like a good idea. So we did that too. And both
Jesus.
things have worked out well.
Are you prone to have like spontaneous type
yeah.
actions in your life? You're like that.
Yeah. I move a lot. Try out different places.
And you're going to
whatnot.
stay here now, you two?
That's what I was wondering
Oh,
too.
who
Do you
knows?
have like an expiration date on New Orleans? Like what's your approach?
Probably just like the city's actual expiration date.
You're gonna
I
be
mean,
here
that's
as long
coming
as
up.
the
That could
city
be any
is.
day.
That's dark.
Exactly.
It's very dark.
You never know. Really? So you're here forever? You know
This is a lot of pressure,
till you
guys.
die.
Do you want me to sign like a 12-year lease?
I'm not really.
Okay.
I'm not really deputized on behalf of the city to do that. But yeah, where are you living?
We live in Bayou St. John.
Okay. So everything's worked out pretty good.
Yeah,
And you
things
have
are
an
going
awesome
well.
job.
I have a great job. I work at the Palace Art Market, and it's absolutely fantastic.
How did you get that job? So you're the curator of the Palace Art Market.
Yeah, so I'm the director of operations and the
So
head
you're it.
curator.
So
yeah.
who owns it exactly? Is it you as well?
No, I don't own it.
So
I
who
just
owns-
run it.
Who owns that whole thing?
Gregor Fox owns it.
And what is it a person?
Yes.
And he.
So
and-
Fox Holdings.
Okay. So who owns this? Like, because how does it work? It's on the street. So
Yeah, well, it's actually.
whole thing work exactly?
It's essentially, if it wasn't filled with artists every night, it would just be a parking lot. So it's not quite on the street. It's tucked back, but it's
Right.
just a big lot filled with cement and fences, and then we
you put
fill
these
it with artists.
green umbrellas up there, and
Yeah.
and tables, and these people are there every single night. It's not just Friday and Saturday when all the
No,
tourists.
we're open every single night, and it's not the same people every night, but we've got about 80 to 100 artists that rotate through. Some of them are there every single night. Don't take days off at all.
Pretty amazing business, actually. 'cause
Yeah.
That really was just a dead area down there. Well, it was just a place where locals went and hung out. I guess before you got here a year.
Yeah, I mean, Frenchmen Street in general is just blowing up. It's getting so busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. I mean,
You guys play on Frenchmen Street still?
Oh, not as much as I used to. I used
Try
to be
not
down there
to.
like 4 or 5 nights a week. Now I'm
Right.
there like once or twice a month.
Really? And why the change?
Well, have you been to Frenchman lately?
Yes.
It's
It's-
turned into Bourbon Street.
It's horrific.
It's turned into Bourbon Street, except
know.
they don't guarantee musicians a wage. So, like, you don't know what you're making. You know, you get a percent of the bar, plus tips. And on Bourbon, you get, like, a guarantee per hour.
Right.
You know.
So is this a conspiracy among all the bar owners on Frenchmen Street? They all
Clearly.
treat you the same?
Like shit, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because
this was a
musicians are
locals-
considered to be shit. So
Right.
that's how we get treated.
But this was a locals street. Frenchmen Street was
No,
where
no,
it
no,
was.
no,
It
no,
used
no.
to be.
Not
It used to be.
anymore.
It's
Yeah.
not anymore.
That's
That's
what I mean.
that's why I'm not there anymore. That's the changes that you
But
were
it
talking
came
about.
from that tradition of being a street where the locals would go.
It
as
did,
oppo-
but it hasn't
So
been
ha-
that for many, many years.
Yeah, but so how did it carry on? How did it evolve into not being paid?
Well, no, it's always been like that. It's always been like a cut of the bar. It's just that, like, it's turned into what Bourbon Street is,
Right.
like a tourist thing, except with more of a focus on music than, say, strip clubs and
But
big
are
ass
people
beers.
still
But-
are people listening to you play there?
Sort of. Depends on which club you play at.
Right.
But the pay scale hasn't caught up.
Do you have certain loyalties to certain venues on Frenchman?
I mean, I prefer certain venues over others. Maybe I shouldn't mention names in case they're listening and I get blacklisted.
Yeah, that's true. You don't want to screw it
Yeah.
up at DVA or Maison or what I mean.
Yeah.
One of those ones.
Yeah.
There aren't too many. What else is the Spotted Cat? But that's too small
Cat,
for
yeah,
you
Blue
guys.
Nile, Apple Barrel.
Oh, yeah.
And there's all those new things that popped up,
Are
like
there?
3 Muses and 3090 and
Vaso.
Vaso.
Now there's a hotel there too.
Great. Oh yeah, there is a Frenchman hotel.
Yep.
Jeez. Yeah. Anyway, it's just.
Well, so what about if everybody and all the musicians unionized?
Well, Louisiana's a right-to-work state, actually, so the union has no power. And
So that's not gonna
also,
work.
musicians are not the most organized people. Maybe you've noticed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is there well, I feel like a few years ago, maybe I guess 5-6 years ago, people used to say things like you're from out of town, you're visiting, visit Bourbon Street, but what you really want to do, the secret is go to Frenchmen Street.
Yeah, keep
And now
telling
when
that.
tourists
Yeah.
when
There.
tourists come, they're like, what do I do after Frenchmen Street? It's like people who have never been here before
Go to
are like,
Bourbon
I'm
Street.
going to Frenchmen Street. So we need a new street.
Well,
I
St.
mean, there
Claude
is
Send it back to
one,
Brooklyn.
but I don't want to like spill the beans. I want to keep it local. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're very smart.
Yeah.
But
You're
there's
very
no
smart.
such thing anymore since Yelp and all these other places. Everybody knows everything. It used to be like, two different New Orleans. There was the tourist New Orleans, and then there was the...
There is.
There still
There
is.
Yeah.
Where
But
would
it's
you
also
go?
it's all on the internet these days too,
That's what I
and
mean,
with all the
everybody knows
Airbnb everywhere, then
Yeah.
everyone's like, being a new tour guide to everybody, like, oh, you really want to go down to blah 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 club, and
Right.
where the locals go is blah 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 restaurant.
That's what I mean. There's no
everyone
such
wants
thing as
the
locals.
insider knowledge.
Yeah. Well, you can't get away with locals only anymore because of all these places people mention on the internet immediately. So where do you go that's different in Boyanna?
I mean,
for
I
your-
like. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna spill the beans. I like the St. Claude Strip.
Well, that's where everybody's
know.
going, right?
Man, now stay away, people. I mean, come in and tip the band, but then leave.
But I don't know if tourists have actually caught up with that, really.
There's not too
It's
many
too-
tourists.
it's too hard
It's pretty
to-
much locals.
Yeah.
Because, the kind of music that they book isn't, like, the kind of music tourists are really
You don't want to come all the way to New Orleans to go hear Bulgarian music.
Right,
first.
right, yeah. Like, there's Bulgarian music
Some
on St.
people
Claude and weird avant-garde
Well,
jazz,
who
which
is
isn't
it?
what tourists want.
Who is the audience for Blato Zlato?
It's a good question. So
Finally. See, I told you I'd come up with that.
So there's a New Orleans contingent of these folk dancers. They're called the Crescent City International Dancers, and they've been doing this kind of stuff since the 70s when it was popular on college campuses. And they just get together once a week and they do their folk dancing, and they play their recorded music.
Right.
And after about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the song ends, and then the dance has to end. And so they're really happy that we came along and we play this music live, and then they could
But
just
how
do
many
their
of these? This is
dance.
like the Cajun dancers that go to Tipitina's on a Sunday night. There's
I mean,
only so many.
there's a bunch of them.
There's a good crowd.
Good
I mean, there's
amount.
like
Really?
at least 20 of them that show up to their weekly folk
Okay.
dance meetings, and then half of them will come to all our shows.
They come to all our
So that's
shows.
a
They're like our
guaranteed
biggest fans.
10 people.
Guaranteed 10 people. Yeah.
I guess that's a
great.
good start.
No,
But
we
you have
definitely fill the
thousands-
house.
You have thousands of followers on Facebook. I know you
Yeah.
don't want to talk about Facebook, Lou, but
Oh, we
There's-
love Facebook.
you have thousands of followers on Facebook, and people, I mean, lots of listens to your record, and you have 2 records out,
And we have 2
As
very
Blato
viral
Zlato.
videos.
2 viral videos.
Yeah, we're big in Bulgaria and big in the Republic of Georgia.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, well, congratulations.
Thanks.
Are they buying
Yeah.
any music over there
No,
or stealing
of
it
course
just like
they're
us?
not.
Okay. So
No,
they're
but they
kind of like
saw our
American,
video
that-
and they
yeah.
liked it.
So you can go there and play and get people to come to the show.
That's the idea.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a listen to some Blato Zlato, why don't we?
That sounds great.
I would
Okay,
love
what are we
that.
going to listen to? What are we playing?
So this next song that we're gonna listen to is called Doncho and the Big Wall. This song's got a little bit of a political edge to it.
Okay. Is it in Bulgarian?
Yes, it is, because we're
So-
subversive like
so
that.
we
Like,
want-
you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know what it's saying, and you don't know what it's about.
We wrote it, by the way. Doncho is like the Bulgarian nickname for Donny. So,
Okay.
it's not about anyone in particular,
Johnny
but just
as
like a
in
little...
like Donald.
Yeah, just like a little guy
Yeah.
named Donnie
This
who
is
wants
a
to build a really
Bulgarian-
big wall. It's
This is a
not related to
Bulgarian
reality
song
at all.
about the wall.
that
Yes.
we wrote. Yeah.
Yes.
And is it like a critique of the wall in?
It's
on
kind of
Me-
like
on
a
Mexican border
cautionary
compared to the
tale.
wall that was in East
It's
Berlin?
like a cautionary tale. So Doncho
Wow.
is like this sad and lonely man with really small hands, teeny tiny hands actually. And he's just sitting around being miserable, and he wants to vanquish all his enemies, and he hates his neighbors, and he wants to build this big wall to keep them out. So it's a cautionary tale because when he eventually
fantastic.
builds
Okay.
this wall,
Yes.
it covers up his beautiful view, and it's kind of like he built a prison for himself. Poor Donnie.
So-
Doncho.
Whoops.
So
Donnie.
how do you pronounce his name?
Doncho.
Doncho. How do you spell it?
Doncho. It's actually
So
spelled in
beautiful.
Cyrillics. You read Cyrillics, right?
I don't even know what that is, but yes, I could totally read it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
got like dots and sort of weird.
No, that's a different alphabet.
Looks like
no, it's like the
GmbH
backwards
or
R.
something. That's German. What is? Can you write it?
In Cyrillics?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we listen to it while I write it? Because
Okay.
that's boring
Let's
for
take a
listeners.
listen to Doncho. That says Doncho. So what part of that is the guy's name, Doncho?
Doncho. I think we say the name in the beginning of the song.
Doncho
What?
Stazzy. We just
Oh
said it
yeah,
there.
yeah, we just
That's
said
the
it,
chorus there?
Yeah.
Turn up a little bit there.
Well, we don't say it.
Yeah. We don't say it there.
So is this the chorus?
No, this is like the tension part where like we're building the wall, but Congress isn't gonna fund it.
So you're-
Mexico's not gonna pay for it.
Lou, you're playing the accordion.
I'm playing the accordion, our violin player Ian is playing, and our bass player P is playing. We're all just creating this tension that, like, holy shit, what kind of society am I living in right now? That this is really happening around me. That's what that's
what
expressing.
about if you did this in English and so we could actually get a few people to listen to it?
You know, people do listen to
Get the
it.
message
It
out.
also gives us a nice little break at our shows. We call it Story Time with Boyanna. We actually composed a little ditty to go behind it, and she tells the story of
I
it.
tell the story of Doncho.
Ah,
I get to
really?
stretch my
Really?
left arm. People get to tune. It's great. We just put her on the mic.
Yeah, so,
So you
I'll-
told
I'll,
them
I'll,
this-
I'll tell you what the lyrics mean.
It's
you
the
know,
story
so
like
we don't
you
have
told
to sing
us?
it in English. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. It's a good song too. What do you think, Chris?
I'm into it. I wish I listened to more music like this, and I will listen.
You can listen
and
to
I will,
us
and
because
I
we got some
absolutely
gigs
will.
coming up.
Where?
Tomorrow night we're gonna be at Siberia.
Siberia?
Yeah.
Cool.
Thursday night they do their like
Okay,
Balkan
let's just get the
klezmer
date.
series.
And
Straight here.
Sunday, we're at
Tomorrow
French
is
Fest.
the 12th.
Oh, yeah.
April
12th
12th.
of April.
At the Eastern Bloc
2018.
Party
9 o'clock
series.
till midnight.
Yeah.
At
And
where? Siberia.
Siberia.
Okay.
And Sunday we're at French Quarter
French
Fest.
Quarter Festival, yes.
On the heart of Bourbon Street.
That's
because
us.
what
Heart of
says
Bourbon.
heart of Bourbon Street more than Bulgarian music?
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to go
Yeah, we're
here
all
to
going to
Bulgaria?
wear I Heart Bourbon Street t-shirts.
Yeah, I think it's
Gonna
like
look
the
really
first
good.
time
You
there's
gonna wear
going to
that
be Bulgarian music on Bourbon Street.
Why don't you get the other T-shirt? Like I got shit face. What is it? I got bourbon face on
Oh,
shit
yeah,
street.
on Shit Street.
That
would be a
That's a
good
good
one,
one.
yeah.
That's a good one.
Trouble 1 and Trouble 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bitch thing
Bitch
one,
one.
thing two.
Thing 1. Is that what
Yeah.
it is? Okay.
There's a lot of good ones there.
Yeah.
What other ones do they have? They have some really awesome ones. So you're playing it on Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
Okay. So
700 block.
what do people in bars think here when you not the audience but people who book music when you say we got a Bulgarian
Well, we don't
band?
book shows on Bourbon Street.
No. How do you
just-
sell this? You're in all kinds of bands.
geez.
Boyanna, you're in tons of bands.
I am, yeah.
You're in One Love, which is
Yeah.
a sort of a
It's a
reggae
brass
band.
yeah.
And are you still in Scott Aegis' band?
Not anymore.
You're not in that band. What was that
Yeah.
called again? I can't remember.
That was called Jamaica Me Breakfast
Jamaica
Club.
Me Breakfast
yeah.
Club.
Yeah.
You're out of that.
Yeah.
What else are you in?
Man, I play with a bunch of different people. I play with a guy from the Ivory Coast, master percussionist called Segan Okone. Been working with him for like 10 years. We mentioned One Love. I play with an Afro-Brazilian drum line called Bache Bunda. I play with another Balkan group. It's a brass band called the Backyard Balkan Brass. I play with the Panorama Brass Band. I
Two
work
Balkan
with
bands.
2 Balkan bands. Only 2? Why, Boyanna? Why? You're slacking.
And a klezmer band. How many have we got to so far? Like 8?
I mean, it's more than that, but, we can move on.
How do you keep it all straight in your head, all the
I
music?
use a calendar. Oh, the music.
But I mean,
the
musically,
music.
when you sit down to play.
Wing it. Don't tell that. I didn't say that. What?
Just winging it. Just
Nothing to
comes
see
back
here.
to you once you sit down. And
That's
Lou,
why
who
it's
do
an
you play?
improviser's town.
Who do
Yeah.
you play with?
I play with a bunch of people too. I actually, besides Blato Zlato, have another Balkan band that's all a cappella. It's all women, and it's 10 of us. And we sing also like all polyphonic Bulgarian and other stuff from Eastern Europe.
Is that the PA band, or is it
No,
someone else? altogether?
PA was a trio that existed some years ago,
Yeah.
and then some of us, other people who play Balkan music, discovered them and merged our bands, and that's how Blato Zlato was kind of born.
And what's your other a cappella?
That's called Trendafilka.
Oh, that's too difficult.
Yeah, I'll write it in
okay.
Cyrillic for you. It's
Write it
real
in
easy.
Cyrillic for me down.
Yeah,
I can probably
it's all
do it.
really easy time signatures, just like that last song was.
So this is all tricky type music for Western musicians.
Yeah, until you
that-
get used to it. Yeah.
What do you mean by time signature? I mean, I know what a
Well,
time
that
signature is.
one
Not just
we just heard was in 11/8.
11/8. How would
Yeah.
that go, Boyanna? Well, you're the drummer, Boyanna. How does that go?
So,
11. Can you do it on the table or something.
Ding, 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 ding. Did you count 11?
Chris, we up to
It's
11.
like,
Katie, how
It's more
far?
like in
I'm
five.
trusting her
1, 2,
100% on
3,
this.
4, 5. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4,
in Bulgarian
5.
music you have like longs and shorts, So this isn't the correct way to count it, but it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 3 is long, Or you could
Wow.
like subdivide into eighth notes and do like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Katie, are you following any of this?
You got it?
My husband's actually trying to teach me music theory because it doesn't make any sense to me at all.
What does he do, your husband?
He's not a professional musician, but he grew up playing piano and saxophone, and so he understands music theory. And he
What's
tries.
his name?
You can write it down. Okay,
In
Alex.
Alex,
please.
Alex.
Yep.
That's in English, not
Yeah.
Cyrillic. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's from here, and he's not from here
No.
either.
No, he's from West Virginia.
Okay. And is he teaching you music theory in the evenings after work, or
Well,
do
he's
you
been
work at
trying to
night?
explain it to. I work at night, but he's been trying to explain it to me, but I'm just not catching on. So I told him he literally has to write out a lesson plan and just kind of walk me through. I need to know more of the physics of it. I think.
What
of
are you
actual
trying to find
sound.
out?
I'm just trying to understand it because you say those words and those numbers, and it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
And what do you think?
I
what,
can't.
what do you want to know about music? You want to know how it's constructed, just so you can know.
I just want to
Just for the-
understand it
just to know.
better. Yeah,
right.
I'm not a very musically inclined person myself, but he's really talented, and he's definitely helped me understand.
And what does
slowly.
he do here?
He works for the city of New Orleans.
Really, that's an interesting job. As what?
He is a special projects manager for the Office of Performance and Accountability. He's a data scientist, so he looks at our data and is like, and it's like,
Wow.
oh no, we should, do these things.
We should fund schools.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Is he part of the regime change when we have a new mayor? Is he going to get fired, or?
Oh,
is-
we have no idea. Isn't that fun?
Right.
Oh, that's how that works, huh?
Yeah, he's, he does a nice job. So, and also I think it's, it's good to keep people around, to keep people accountable. Like it's a
Yeah.
good department. So,
For
but
sure.
who
Hey,
knows?
well, it is New Orleans after all.
But if he loses his job, he can busk because he plays guitar and saxophone and piano and,
Are y'all
And-
hiring?
Yeah, well,
We don't really need a guitarist. I'm sorry, Alex.
Sorry, Alex.
oh well.
But he could open for you.
Yeah,
Sure.
Sure.
We'll take
Yeah,
an
nice
opener.
guitar solo opening for the
Yeah.
Bulgarian band.
It's gotta be in an odd time signature though.
Yeah, and probably
the
E
rules,
minor.
yeah.
Sorry.
Maybe D
Yeah.
minor. That's all we do.
Is he really interested in being a street musician if he gets fired? Or would there maybe something else he could do?
Hopefully something else because he's not a he's an okay musician, He just not.
Sorry, Alex.
Sorry.
Sorry, we're trying
You
really
have-
hard over
you
here,
have to
Alex.
You've got to be a pretty good musician to make it in New Orleans. I mean,
Yeah,
really,
I
you do.
think he ought to be pretty good. He's also pretty shy. He's been saying since we moved here that he would go out and try it, but he's extremely shy. I think his
That's tough.
niche is just parroting really annoying male voices on songs. He does a great Randy Newman, which I call Randy Old Man. as like his parody
Okay.
name. And yeah, just Counting Crows. He can do that, like just dig into
Okay.
how annoying those voices are.
Does he
Right.
do,
Nail it.
Does he write new material for those songs, or is it
No.
it's just making the fun of the voices?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just-
Can you do
just
an impression?
impersonate.
Can you do an impression of him?
No, but after we're done, I'll show you a video of him being Randy Oldman. If you
We got a
you
lot-
can
we got a
just
lot of
tell us
videos
where
to show.
Get it. Because Chris has a theatre. Chris has got the theatre called the New Movement Theatre,
Oh, that's cool.
which is comedy.
Yeah, we do comedy over at St. Claude, 2706 St. Claude Avenue. Shout out to.
That's where the locals go, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
right. That's where the locals go.
Uh-oh.
It's yeah, I know.
We ruined it.
Not quite.
Blowing up the spot.
Not quite, because I kind of think St. Claude is like almost like the cover charge district, where it seems like locals are like, I'm down to go there and spend $10 on something that's going to go to artists or help this scene out. So
But that's how locals are. Locals are into supporting the arts. Tourists
That's
are
what Chris
just
just
like,
said.
oh, big ass beer. Ah.
well, all we
Let me
gotta
throw
do.
up on the sidewalk.
All we gotta do is keep the big ass beers off of St. Claude Avenue. That's a good battle cry.
I'm into that.
That's a good T-shirt right there.
That's a good T-shirt.
I like large amounts of alcohol though. Like,
Don't worry, you can go to Jeans. It's right there.
That's true. Jeans is our big ass beers.
yeah, I don't need. Yeah, I don't need to be labeled that. I just like
Yeah.
large containers.
Oh, you like a lot of alcohol in your hands at the same time, you mean?
Yeah, it's just
Do you
convenient.
feel
You know,
safe?
go to the bar once,
You're
get a
gonna
large
drink it.
container.
Get a
Right.
Camelback. Get a
Go to
Camelback.
Bulgaria.
Yeah, actually, Eastern Europe, the normal beer containers are
Oh,
like
yeah.
I don't
Like
even
half
know.
a
They look
liter.
like they look
Yeah.
like a Coke bottle or something.
Yeah. When
like
I
a big
come back
bottle.
from Bulgaria and I go to a bar and I get a 12-ounce beer, it's just like, what the hell is this little kitty beer, man? Give me a real beer.
It's like when Americans go to Canada and get a soft drink at like a fast food place. It's super small.
Right.
Same thing.
Or you
Same
get
thing.
ice in your drink in some other country where they put 2 little blocks of ice in it. So, what do you like to drink, Katie? What's your drink of choice then, apart from quantity?
Well, I'm having a gin cocktail that has cranberry and sage
That's
in it.
nice.
It's really nice. I like high gravity beers because just efficiency,
High gravity.
you know, like high alcohol content. Like,
Is that called high gravity beer?
yeah,
I've never heard that term.
I
because
haven't
it's
either.
like gravity, just like to the floor.
Because you're going to hit the deck.
No, I have no idea why it's called that.
Have
but
you heard that term,
I've
you
not heard
beer
that.
drinkers?
Yes, not since I was a teenager, but yes, a
Yeah.
lot.
Where did
It's
you
just
grow up?
convenient.
I grew up in Boston.
In Boston.
Yeah,
So
we
they have
like
high
our
gravity
high-gravity
beer
beers.
there.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've learned something today. High gravity beer.
It's like malt liquor.
Christy knows a bit about high gravity beer. She's a big beer drinker,
Gravity is
Okay.
a great name to use to describe something.
especially if it's serious and grave.
Yeah.
With
It's good.
gravity.
Serious
It's just good.
beer. Yeah.
It's good.
Okay. How often do you get totally so drunk that you can't remember the next day?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, I don't think
Jeez, Grant.
I don't think I've done that in a couple years. The high gravity is
2
not
years
about
ago.
drinking a lot. It's just about efficiency. I want to have a few amount of drinks.
Right.
You know, as
So
few
when
as
you go to
possible.
work, so you're working on Frenchmen Street
Yeah.
every night.
I do take
So-
days off, but yes,
But I
most
mean, well, okay,
nights,
when
yes.
you're working at night, so you have to
Yes.
be there to run the whole thing. What's your feeling about all these tourists down there? Do you hate them?
I love that they come and buy from these artists and, you know, support them.
Right.
I personally don't go out to the bars anymore on Frenchmen Street because it is
You
pretty
only- and you've only
crowded.
been
It's
here
not my
1
style.
year.
2.
2 years.
Yeah.
And you're already
I
over
don't like
it.
crowds in general. So
Well, you got a good job then, being the art curator on Frenchmen Street.
yeah, I don't leave the confines of the market. It's
Right.
crazy out there, but the market's kind of a little oasis on Frenchmen.
It's crazy
Yeah.
out there.
I mean, it gets busy, but it's, you know,
It's a bit more
It's
sedate.
a little bit
So
quieter
how
and a
does
lot
this
of nice
work?
things
so it's
to look
open
at.
from 7 o'clock at night, isn't it, till midnight usually? Something like
midnight on
that?
the weekdays, 1 a.m. on the weekends.
1 a.m. Okay, so I'm a tourist and I'm wandering around and I've been to the Spotted Cat or somewhere like that and I've had a few drinks and I'm pretty drunk. I go and buy a painting and then I'm carrying that around or what?
Well, most of our artists ship, so you can drunkenly buy something and then have it show up at your house, much like drunk online shopping. You're just
okay.
like, what am
So
I? A
similar thing.
painting.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And then it's not just huge paintings. We have people who are doing a lot of jewelry, which is obviously easy to take with you at the time. And not everyone who comes through is totally drunk. You
No.
know?
That helps with an art purchase though, if you are totally drunk, doesn't it?
I mean, it might give you the guts to buy a really expensive
I'm
painting.
pretty sure that everything I've ever bought in my house I bought when I was drunk.
Good,
Tell you
that's
the
good.
honest truth.
I
or
would,
high.
I would love to see
Come over.
how you've done.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I've made some pretty wise investments.
Oh, good. But yeah, so without the tourists, these artists, there has to be a mark.
It's pretty
a
awesome
market
that you
for
can
all
do
the
it,
art.
though, because
Yeah.
you're giving so many artists a livelihood down there.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that only really happens in New Orleans. Like, my sister's an artist back in Michigan, and it is not, the opportunities don't exist. You don't have all this tourist
So
money coming in.
you've created this, you and
No.
what's
No,
his
no,
name?
No. I just...
Fergus McDougall.
yes,
What was his
Fergus
name?
McDougall.
What was his name?
Yeah.
Anyone remember his name? The guy who owns it?
No idea.
Fox.
Fox. Fox
So I
News.
did not create it. I just keep it running smoothly so that the artists, I mean,
It's a
the
pretty cool
artists are
thing.
what make the market. Otherwise, it's just a parking lot, And so we just try to, keep it running efficiently and help them
And
do what they need to do.
is there any drama involved with it, or does it all just run smoothly and everyone shows up and no one complains to you about
It's
anything?
pretty smooth, no one. People aren't getting into fights or
Right.
they just show up.
So you
they
got a
set
pretty
up their
good
art.
gig then. You don't have to worry about
Yeah.
anything.
I mean, it's pretty.
Things don't go wrong. You don't come home and go, "Oh my God,
No, and
Alex,
yeah.
why
Sorry,
do we ever,
Alex. I've
why
had
do
a
we
day.
ever move here?" Yeah, it's always good.
Yeah, I mean, it's going great right now. It's the busy season, so the artists are happy. They're making money. It's going well. Summer will be slow, and that'll be, hard.
Right.
The artists say it's usually their feast or famine. You have your busy seasons, and then
That's true.
your dead seasons.
Well, Chris, how's it going down at the New Movement Theatre? Are you guys still packing them in?
We are doing very well, Grant. Thank you. We are up and running. We have shows. This weekend coming up is our first full weekend since Mardi Gras. So we've got a Friday the 13th sketch comedy show on
Friday the 13th of
this month.
April.
what is it? April.
Yes. And
Time flies, doesn't it?
yeah,
I can never keep up with them.
you'll figure it out,
I
Grant.
never remember which one it is.
Do you know where you are, Grant?
Yes.
You're at Wayfare.
I'm right
on-
across from
for-
the European Wax Centre.
So yeah, sketch comedy show this Friday, 8 o'clock, then a stand-up show right after at 9:30, and then 2 improv shows the next night. So, and then our student recitals are on Sundays. So feeling good, looking good.
So business is rocking along.
Business is rocking along.
Because you had a pretty rough beginning to this year.
Yeah, we had a rough beginning to the year, but things are for sure a lot of lessons learned, a lot of adapting occurred, and a lot of changes. But we're feeling good. We're
Well,
happy.
how did all this get resolved in the end? Because these people, what exactly happened? People are accusing you in the theatre of some sort of sexual harassment
Yeah,
stuff, and
not me, not the
Not you
theater.
personally.
Someone who used to work for the theater. It's very confusing. It's very it's something that happened not at the theater, and we're dealing with
there was one incident.
there was one alleged incident. Yeah.
Okay. I read about one alleged incident in the Times-Picayune, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the only coverage I've ever seen of this story.
Yeah, yeah, and that's because I don't know why that is. I'm not in the press room, but we are good. We're good. We've got a lot of things in place now to prevent stuff like this from happening. We got a lot of resources available to people who need those types of resources. We got a lot of new training for employees and students that's being offered to all kinds of people. We're very, very excited about the future.
Okay. So there was, as you said, some sort of lessons learned as a result of this.
Yeah. Well,
So what have you had to institute, like policies or?
Well, just better policies and also better working on better channels to listen to people, which I think we thought we had on lock before, but we didn't. And we've also learned quite a bit in terms of just how to run a business like ours in a city like this size of ours. So we've scaled back quite a bit. Because we used to have a theater in Austin and a theater
Right.
here. We sold the theater in Austin to some former students out there. So that's off our plate, and they're killing it, and they're doing great, and everything's cool over there. So we just pretty much slowed down because it's hard to, just learning a lot about running an arts business in a venue in a city like this on a street like St. Claude.
So what's the comedy scene like? Are there, because when this all went down here, there seemed to be people targeting you on, well, basically on Twitter, as far as I've seen. People just out to get you. One Twitter account is called Boycott the New Movement, and all they are concerned about is just saying shit about you, basically.
You know,
And
people can do
there's
what they...
some other guy whose name I can't now remember, who would say stuff about our website, it's neworleans.com, because you used to do a show on it's neworleans.com, the True to the Game, the sports show, and whoever this was is writing, I can't believe you're still associated with this guy, and blah, blah, blah. And they seem to be super out to get you, these people.
Yeah, I cannot speak for them.
But what is the deal with it? Is there like some competition? I mean, we don't know anything about, you guys know anything about the comedy scene here?
Not at all.
So you, Katie, and you're down there. No, I
But
don't
I know about haters.
Haters.
Haters
Nobody
gonna
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
What's
the
your
thing.
what's your feeling about it?
Well, when people go online and stuff, like they feel like empowered or something because it's not face to face. They're just talking
Right.
to a screen or whatever. They're typing words on a screen, so they feel like empowered to say shit they wouldn't say to your face at all, And it's like they just spew negativity, So it's a trend.
Yeah.
I would love to take this opportunity, too, to tell all of y'all and anyone listening about the comedy scene in New Orleans.
Yes.
Because there are shows happening all over the place, all over the city, pretty much every night of the week. It's a legit comedy scene. I think like 7 or 8 years ago, it was like there's like 4 really good shows, and now there is like at least one really good show every night of the week, and venues all across the city. So obviously not quite on par with the music scene here, but it's but a lot of similarities. It's like the early days of what, if it continues growing like this, what will be a very robust, involved, and high quality comedy scene. We just got to make sure people stay in town. I think that's the biggest thing for the New Orleans comedy scene, is people that get really good here and then eventually leave, which is totally their right, and they can, all good. But the more people that stay here
Right.
and are pushing the New Orleans comedy scene, the better.
It is impressive if you go out and hear comedy. It is amazing how many people are doing great things here. But what is the deal? So the New Movement Theatre is your theatre,
Yes.
and you train people to do improv, and there's a lot of improv classes, and you can work your way through and learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And is there competition? Are these people who are out to get you your competitors? Or do they
I
just
don't-
hate you personally for some reason, or what's?
I can't speak on that,
Well-
but I know that there are other shows. There are other shows that, not just ours. There are shows. You could go. I know the Valiant Theater in Araby has a lot of improv shows right now. And if you go to, I believe the best resource, if you're looking to see every single comedy show in the city, just like one, looking at all of it, regardless of affiliation or what genre of comedy, comedyinnola.com.
Comedy in NOLA.
In NOLA, yeah. That has this like list of, so whenever comics come to town.
Is it 2 N's?
No.
Or just one N?
It's just one.
It's
just
not
one.
an.
It's not a
It's
hotel.
not an N. It's just a comedy in NOLA.
Hey, they might open
Well,
a
it
hotel.
has 2 N's because N ends in an N and NOLA starts with an N.
Yeah, so it's comedy
there is 2
in
N's.
Ola.
Ha ha. Okay.
No, comedy in NOLA. So like basically when out-of-town comics come to town, which happens all the time. Like we had Neil
Right.
Brennan in last night who just here to film something and then wanted to do a drop-in show. That happens all the time because people love visiting New Orleans, and they typically will go to that website to be like,
Comedyinnola.com. Okay, that's what we should look out for.
Yeah.
C-Rock, what's going on?
I think we should move on from this topic because some of our listeners don't agree with it at all, and just
What-
move away from comedy.
Move off of comedy. What do you mean?
It's
what,
not funny.
it's not funny.
What are you hearing from people listening live on Facebook?
We got a little bit going in the comment section,
What
and I
what
think
is
to
the
just
Haters?
Hater.
what are they
Oh,
saying?
I don't think it's fair to call anyone a hater if they have legitimate concerns, but I don't know if this is the place to address them.
Well, I think it is. What are they saying?
That's because you love exciting radio.
What are they saying? If someone's going to put this on Facebook, C-Rock, and it's live right now,
You can read it.
bring it over to me.
Yeah.
Bring it over here. Okay.
Do the listeners want to hear
I'm
more
happy to
Bulgarian
read it.
music?
This is from someone called Kai Krebs. Can you also ask Trew why he's lying about being accused? Because he was accused, and so was Tami, of other issues arising from the conversation of the incident that happened outside the theatre. Now, see, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
Every time,
Yeah.
I don't know who the Kai Krebs is. Do you know Kai Krebs?
I do know Kai Krebs.
Okay,
Kai Krebs
so
is a
what's he
very
talk-
talented stand-up comedian, improviser in Austin. He's from Louisiana, though.
Okay. This is a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what is he accusing you of lying about? It says you're giving him a platform to literally lie to people about what happened, and it's irresponsible. Are you telling us lies about what happened?
I am not telling you lies.
So,
Grant. Why are you,
okay.
Grant, why are you giving me this platform?
So why does Kai Krebs think you're lying, and what does he think? What does he assume happened?
I don't know, but I'm happy to have a conversation with Kai Krebs if he wants to. Kai hasn't reached out to me, but he knows where to find me. I'm happy to have a chat with him.
But you must know what he's talking about.
I do know what they are talking about to a certain extent, but I don't know.
Are they saying that you sexually harassed people in the theater?
I do not think that's what they're saying.
You
but
don't think that's what they're saying?
You can ask him. You
Okay,
should-
Kai. Oops, what did I do here? Fuck that up somehow. Okay. It says, and look, they drag you into it now. It says, Blato Zlato was really embarrassing themselves.
Uh-oh.
You see what I mean?
internet.
And I'm going to be dragged
internet.
into it as well, I'm sure, because I'm hosting the show. And Katie, you're going to be dragged into
Come
it as
watch
well.
us embarrass ourselves on
Yeah.
stage at French
That's what we
Quarterback.
do every night. People pay us to do it.
But this is what I'm saying. It seems to me to be something pretty serious going on here. That the people are either out to get you because they hate you, or you're just totally making this all up and you're just lying about what really happened.
Right.
So which one is it?
Oh, well, I don't know if it's either of those things. I don't know if people are just out to get me. I think that
Well,
people.
why would Kai Krebs be saying this stuff that you're lying if he's why would he make that up?
Because
He's got mental problems or some sort?
you know, I don't know Kai super well. I don't think Kai has mental problems. I think people are upset about what happened, or what allegedly happened outside the theater and within our community, and
Okay.
people aren't happy with the way that we try to. There you go. People aren't happy with some people are, but some people are not happy with the way that we tried to handle it, and still.
What would they like to happen? The people that would like you to do something different. What would they like to see happen?
Some of the things that we were asked to do are just straight up like illegal and against the law in terms of how to handle a situation.
Like what?
I can't go into details on that, but
I think you might want to, really.
No, I don't.
Someone asked you to do something illegal and you refused to do it. I think you're allowed to say what that is.
But I'd rather not, because
Okay.
we are for sure learning from this experience, and we are moving on, and while doing our best to adapt and be better, you know. And we have for sure taken measures to
But
be better.
if you didn't do anything wrong in the first place, what do you need to improve?
Well, just in general, I think our company we're a small company that was like growing really fast.
Right.
And in a lot of ways that's good, and I think for us it was equal parts good and bad. And just stuff like how big does our HR department need to be? How many people do
But
we...
none of that has got anything to do with sexual harassment. I mean, there's...
Well,
HR
yes, it does. That's yeah.
But I mean, that's people grow businesses and they get too big and things go wrong and stuff. But it's not necessarily connected to any kind of bad behavior.
Yeah, well...
And you're saying there was no bad behavior in the theater itself. Anyway.
That's correct. There was no bad behavior within the theater itself. The whole thing is very complicated, and honestly, we are still learning about it and figuring new things out. There are things that are changing every couple of days, new information, new people that are saying, I learned what happened, and this is what I think. Some people are saying, here's what I think happened, here's what I don't think happened.
Okay, so this is an ongoing
It's for
discussion
sure,
that
yeah.
hasn't reached the end yet. So we're still on the he said, she said type.
I think there's a little bit of that, and I think that some people are very unhappy that the theater is open right now. And
Why?
because I think that the game plan was for us to not be open. That's what people
This
wanted.
is what I'm asking from the beginning. Is this because there's some sort of competition among comedy people who are trying to
I think
destroy
there's-
your theater for their own financial gain, or do they just
I don't
not
think
like you?
I don't think it's that. I think that there is natural competition in any arts. Like, I don't think it would be fair to say that like the band playing across the street from you is your competition. I mean, maybe that night they are...
Only if they're playing Bulgarian music.
Right. And maybe that night...
But they're not going to
technically-
try and close Blato Zlato down just because you've got a big audience and they
I
don't.
mean, they might,
I mean,
That
yeah,
doesn't happen.
That does happen, though, in
It
the
does
arts.
happen, yeah.
It
It
does
does.
happen in the
And
arts.
the music scene?
Oh, yeah.
People are
It's
backstabbing?
cutthroat.
Is
Oh,
it-
my God. It's cutthroat.
Are you serious? I
Yeah.
did not know that.
No,
Did you-
it's
What's it
I
like in
mean-
the art scene, Katie? Are people stabbing each other in the back?
I don't know. I feel underinformed about this particular issue, but I would be hesitant to use it to talk about how people try to tear other people down, because I'm without knowing what happened, like to say that what could be a very legitimate issue to say that people are pushing it just because they're your competition and they want to take you down. That doesn't seem
Well, that's the question.
fair.
That's the question we're asking, though. It's got to be. There has to be a reason. People aren't just.
Well, yeah, but I unless you want to explain the entire situation of what happened, which I don't think you do, I don't think that this is a productive conversation because none of us know
Right.
what happened at all, and so to speak to it without knowing what happened
Well, we could go for
at
another.
all
We could go for
doesn't make
another
any-
hour and have a
doesn't
whole.
make any sense.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. So, how do we answer people then when they say that we've given you a platform? Now, when people are going to jump on me and they're going to jump on Happy Hour and going to say that Blato Zlato are making fools of themselves.
Well, that's just
How-
a given. That's
So
nothing
they-
to do, Chris. We just
What-
do that.
What's
we
our
made a career.
What's our response to that, Chris?
I think that people are allowed to feel and think what they want to feel and think, and I think some people are happy with spending time to go after people, and that they have every right to do that. I think I look forward to the day where everyone can kind of get back on the same page and kind of everyone can check each other on like what did we learn, who or what was wrong, where did we go wrong with this, how we fixed it, and then people can come back, can stay away, can start a new thing. That's a thing that is a in comedy especially, that is a way a lot of new things start. Like almost every comedy venue in this country that's not super fair, but like I feel like a lot of comedy venues started because there was a split from a previous one. Probably the same thing with music venues or bands, perhaps, And I don't know, but I think that I think there's going to be a lot more comedy in the city, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. It's going to be more accessible. There's going to be more shows from more people, and so to go back to your competition question. I'm not looking at it as competition. I think it's healthy. I think it's a healthy thing for a comedy scene, and I support it.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as I know right now, there's no other improv classes, sketch comedy classes, but that will probably also change. I mean, we've been the only place to do that for a long time, and that's bound to change.
Are
at
you
some
reaching
point.
out to these people who have a problem with you
Yeah,
to try and resolve this with them?
Yeah, we had a town hall meeting at our theater where we tried to address every question, concern, and also brainstorm ideas to make things better. And then we had a separate meeting, not town hall style, but of more like we were available to have one-on-ones or just small group meetings. We've done stuff like that, and we'll probably do more. Probably will do more.
Okay. All right. Well, on that note, I guess we can move on from the.
Hey, if you want.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's any there's no resolution to this issue as far as we're concerned. Because none of us knew what really happened. All I know is that one article I read in the paper, which doesn't even happen at the theatre, and it didn't seem to involve you, and no one's accused you personally of doing anything to them. So I find the whole thing a little confusing, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But it sure has got some people pissed off.
Clearly.
I would say as far as, what you, Graham, say to people who are saying you're giving him a platform is, you make a decision to bring people on this show, and it should be an informed decision, and once you make that, that's who you're supporting and deciding to give a platform to, so there's some ownership involved in that.
Do you think that we give a platform to somebody just because we have a conversation with them? Do you think that's the same thing?
I think if you bring someone in here and put them in on Facebook Live and a publicly accessible platform, then
But do you think
they
I have
should
to
be-
make a decision about Chris before I invite him to come on the show? That I have to
I would
decide
say
that he's
there's-
innocent, guilty, or
No, you could bring someone on who you don't support and use it as a platform to explore those issues. But I think in general, what the public will hold you accountable for is the people that you choose to.
But how would
to give a
we
platform to.
ever get anywhere if we didn't have conversations with people?
Yeah.
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 That's what this is.
And I
That's
think
what this
probably a conversation about this, maybe not being recorded, you'd be able to get to some sort of conclusion where you felt like you understood what happened and just the situation and whether or not you wanted to give a platform in this instance. So I'm not making any judgments. I'm just saying you will probably be held responsible by your listeners, for the people that you bring on, because it is a show of support to give someone a platform.
But I think it's a show of, whether or not it's support, I would like to know what goes on. Mm-hmm. I like Chris. I think Chris is a super talented person. The theater is great. It's made a huge difference to the comedy scene in New Orleans. And I'm interested to know what happened.
Yeah.
So, if that's supporting, yeah, we support you. For sure. And I would like to see this resolved, and I would like to see people who have a problem solve the problem and move on.
Yeah, same.
You know?
Same. And I think that we are moving closer to that, especially like in-house in the theater, and the people who are coming to the theater and who are talking to us and learning more and just coming back to do shows and take classes.
All right. So the New Movement Theater is open for business.
Yes, sir. This Friday and Saturday, our first full weekend since Mardi Gras.
All right. And are you part of French Quarter Festival? Or are you expecting to?
Not, but I will be out supporting shows. I think there's a certain show I'm going to Sunday night.
Sunday, it's daytime.
Sunday daytime.
1:30 p.m.
Oh, listen to the harmony on that as well.
Yeah.
She doesn't even sing in the band.
I don't sing, I play drums. Yeah, but 1:30 to 2:45 p.m.
On Bourbon Street?
On Bourbon Street, 700 block, the heart of Bourbon Street.
That is, right by Catch Me Out.
Hand grenade.
What says heart of Bourbon Street more
than Bulgarian music?
Mm-hmm.
And the art market is open every single night down on Frenchmen Street. Katie, we can go see you there.
Yep, every night at 7.
Every night from 7 till midnight.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, that's been Happy Hour for another week. Katy Tinsley has been here from the art market. Lou Carrig and Boyanna Trayanova from Blato Zlato and Chris Trew from the New Movement Theatre. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back here again next week. And thank you also, too, to Basic Swim and Gym, where you can get a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout, and yoga clothes with style, to Hangover Destroyer, the only all-natural product medically proven to prevent a hangover, and to Louisiana Legs, where you can get workout and yoga clothes at Louisiana Legs by finding them on Instagram and on Etsy. And thanks, too, to our Patreon subscribers. If you'd like to be part of our It's New Orleans Happy Hour family, go to patreon.com and look for It's New Orleans Happy Hour. The show is produced this week by Graham DePonte. Our associate producer is Alison Moon, and Christian Unruh is our music director. Thomas Walsh is our technical director, and our Facebook live feed director is Asher Griffith. Andrew Searock is our fact checker and social media connector, and our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can sit upright for about 60 minutes while drinking alcohol, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com. We also make, hey, listen to that, it's the phone. We make other shows as well as the other happy hours you can listen to on our website. You can find Out to Lunch with Peter Asciutti, live from Commander's Palace, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tucker, and our award-winning podcast about death called Death the Podcast, which was named one of the top 40 podcasts in America in 2017. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and a bunch of other time-sucking social media as well, as long as it still exists. On all of it, we're called It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our Facebook page. Those photos were taken by Alison Moon. If you listen to this show on your favorite podcast app, thank you for subscribing to us. Take a moment, if you've got one, to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. Our show is recorded live today at Wayfare on Ferret Street in Uptown New Orleans. Happy Hours, a production of Wayfare Broadcasting. For itsneworleans.com, for Andrew Duhon, who's on the road somewhere, we'll be back here next week. And you can find out more about his record release party and his gig at Jazz Fest and French Quarter Fest by going to andrewduhon.com. And thanks, too, to all our office staff back at INO Broadcasting. And thank you for joining us. I'm Grant Morris. I'll see you back here next week for more Happy Hour.
I can't believe it.
That Gerald is presenting the quarterly budget report with finger puppets?
Look, here comes a 1.7% decrease in fixed overhead. Hello, everybody.
No, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico.
Who are you? The projected increase in organic Q3 revenue. Hooray!
Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.